Thank you so much. So, first of all, let me say that the last year with the DG Informatics, we developed a report called the Drafting Legislation in AI Era Digitization. So in this report, we classify three main categories to use AI. AI for drafting, AI for data analytics, for detecting the patterns for drafting. So it's also important to use AI for discover our errors. And so, for instance, to analyzing a core agenda is very useful because we detected some patterns of errors and in which language are more frequent. So this is another use that is, let me say, a preliminary analysis for having good inputs to offer to the drafting, because first I need to understand myself, my errors, and then I can teach to the machine how to avoid them. So this is a first idea. But today I wanted to talking about in deep of LLM, large language model, and because it's a new star inside of a scenario of AI, and we can see some example. First of all, in Massachusetts, the senator produced the amendment totally using ChatGPT. Question is eligible, not eligible, what is mean, the way. And in New York, we can see that a lawyer produced a completely answer to the defense, totally written by ChatGPT. And ChatGPT included many references of the judgment never existed, so with a big hallucination. And the judge said, oh, fantastic, but where come from the judgments? And so after this, European Commission declared the guidelines for the internal usage of the ChatGPT, remarked the risks. So I say that because in the picture of analyzing new features, we needed to have in mind this kind of potential risk. And also, let me stress the point that probably tomorrow we have a section dedicated to that, but that the Parliament are now suggesting an amendment, very important, that all the outputs coming from LLM, generative AI, should be prone to some strong obligations. First of all, transparency, and to disclose clearly that the content comes from an elaboration of a generative AI. So we need to take in mind also for the future the obligation of the AI Act, especially in this. By the way, from our analysis in the past and today, we can see different goals of AI in legislative drafting: create documents, help linguistic translation, summarize big tons of comitology that need to be summarized for people that need to grasp the main idea, and create preambles. In my project of RC, I'm now creating a pilot case for creating preambles of a new law coming from the legislation of Europe. What is preamble? Citation, legal basis, and recitals, so justification. And or you can see help to consolidate, so the machine can suggest some consolidation to the end user, or a definition. This is another topic. LLM could, in principle, help a lot to create definitions, especially because definition inside of a commandoso is very well marked up in details. And so we can teach to the machine to understand not only the basic language token, but also the meta level of a commandoso, and to ask, give me a definition of these according to the previous legislation, but with this difference is because is a new definition according to the past, but also for the future. So we have many of scenarios in these, and we are working in the same project with the thoughts about LEOs, advanced, and to create some pilot cases for demonstrating with the proof of concept the integration of these ADN. And we are working on definitions, citations, and also preambles in order to suggest during the drafting something that can help people to avoid mistakes, but also to have more information in the hand for deciding the next typing, so the next sentence. By the way, so these are the advantages, but by the way, we need also to see the weakness of LLM in the legal domain. First of all, LLM is working usually on the basis of token, not a sentence, token sentence. And there is also in some model a limitation of the token. So some LLM has a limitation of the number of a token admissible. And but the legal document are based by the structure. The structure is fundamental. We have a definition in the beginning, the portion of the rights, obligations, and penalties and transitory clauses, usually. So the structure is fundamental. The context, LLM use the context for understanding something, but lose the meaning of the content. So the LLM can understand similarities, explain which kind of similarity. So we needed to embed and explain jurisdiction, for instance, super important, especially in the European legislation, because we have a lot of derogation for instance, Denmark. We can have many, or Malta or Cyprus. So we needed to encapsulate this concept of jurisdiction and temporal parameters, obviously. Another point is pay attention, like the previous example, citation, normative citation. We need to protect the citation, the normative citation, because otherwise LLM can invent totally the citation, because it's like a text like the others, so like a novel. And so we need to go. And time is also very important, because all of the legislation is based on the temporal parameters and to enforce activities, suspension, and so on. So as I said before, we're using hybrid AI for mitigate the risk of one technology to another. So we use Comantoso, semantics, ontologies, data analytics for discovering patterns, and also AI. But the new other stars is a neuro-symbolic. Neuro-symbolic is a new keyword that are now modeling, theoretically speaking, the integration of a sub-symbolic AI with a symbolic AI for a better transparency, explainability, and so far. And this is a very interesting new trend, so also for the future smart application in drafting. And finally, obviously, the last goal is to explain to the drafter what happened. So I suggest something, but I need also to have a critical thinking approach, human-centered approach, and say, the legal experts say, why you suggested me we should have enough elements, ingredients for providing a little piece of explanation. Thank you so much.